Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing what I thought of that fantastic, awesome, emotional, exciting, satisfying, and overall amazing new Marvel film, Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, before I keep gushing and talking too long and too much, of course, please, for the love of God, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I am going to be dropping spoilers left and right. In fact, every other word out of my mouth from this moment forward will be a spoiler. So if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home and you fully plan to watch it at some point soon, do not keep watching or listening to this, as I will be discussing massive spoilers. I'm just saying this because I wouldn't want it ruined for anybody, because I wouldn't want anyone to ruin it for me. And thankfully, it wasn't ruined for me. Well, parts of it I kind of suspected, but point is, I didn't have it really ruined for me, and I don't want to ruin it for any of you. So please, do not keep watching if you haven't seen it and you fully plan to. And then come back here and listen to this review to see if you agree with me or not. Okay, that being said, spoiler warning is issued. You have been warned. Spoilers starting now. Oh my God. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Not only did they bring back all these fantastic, my hair, not only did they bring all of these fantastic and some of my personal favorite villains like Doc Ock, Electro, Lizard. I like the others too, but those three are easily my top three. And not only do they bring them back, but the fact that they actually brought back, and they were in it, and not just for the third and final act of the film, but they were in it halfway through, and they had a major emotional supporting role for each other and for Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire. I gotta say, I love the fact that I can see movies nowadays again in a full house, because the house lit up at every single best possible moment. Whenever a character appeared, we all clapped, like the first appearance of Doc Ock and Goblin, Electro, Sandman, and Lizard. Well, Lizard didn't really get much of a reaction, but we were still happy to see him. And of course, we all lost it as soon as the other two Spider-Men appeared, and we lost it during the final battle of the three Spider-Men going up there against their respective foes. And we all lost it when we thought Goblin had killed Maguire's Spider-Man. Well, I kind of suspected he wasn't dead. I would feel like that'd be a pretty low blow. And plus, where he stabbed him, it was like more in the lower back, not really the lungs. So thankfully, he was okay, alive, but it still got a hell of a reaction. And so, God, this movie just worked on so many levels, both in grand scale and scope of things. And then the thing I found myself really enjoying was that, yes, of course, the fight scenes where everybody gets to show off their powers and everybody fights their respective villains. Like Garfield's Spider-Man went up against Electro and Wizard fittingly. Maguire's Spider-Man went up against Doc Ock and had scenes with Goblin as well, and Sandman. So, of course, that was all fitting and very satisfying. But the thing that excited me the most, the thing I loved most about this film, is that not only did they bring back these awesome characters, both the other two Spider-Men and the villains, but they brought them back as not just one-scene moments or like highlights of the film. They were all highlights of the film, but they all had awesome character beats and moments throughout the whole film. Like, everybody was emotionally motivated, whether it was one of the Spider-Men or one of the villains, and everybody got some great scenes in. Everybody had a fair chunk of dialogue. Everybody got some pretty decent screen time, at least I felt they did. And I love the fact that the villains got to have a voice in this rather than just being the big scary bad guys. If anyone was going to remain truly evil, and I'm not surprised at all they went this route, it was going to be Goblin, because Goblin is pretty damn evil. And I was suspicious that he was putting on a Norman facade or face during that whole time when they were trying to find cures for all the bad guys. And of course, my suspicions were confirmed, and sadly, May died. Oh, and I also love the fact that somebody in this movie said, with great power comes great responsibility. Was really hoping Tobey's Spider-Man would say it, but hey, you know what? He finished the sentiment when Peter started it, when he was telling him how that's what May said to him. And that's what I loved about this movie, too. All the shit you wanted to see and were hoping to see was in it. Both the other Spider-Men. Garfield Spider-Man saving Mary Jane from falling off the Statue of Liberty, and the place just roared in applause and cheers, and I was one of them. We were all clapping and cheering as he saved her, and then the look on his face when he realized that he had redeemed himself and saved this girl when he couldn't save his own Gwen. Oh God, that was beautiful. And then, of course, one of the best moments in the film, something I had almost completely forgotten that was possible of happening, and it happened. And it took me a minute to realize what was happening, and as soon as I realized it, I lost my shit like everybody else was. But when they're all working in the school lab, and then somebody says either Ned or MJ say Peter, and they all start going, who? Him? Him? Me? What? Me? I'm like, oh my God, they've recreated the meme. That stupid meme with Spider-Man pointing at each other. But it took me a minute because none of them were in costume. They're all in regular clothes. And so it took me a minute. But as soon as I got it, I lost my mind like everybody else did. Oh, God, it was funny. It was like one of the best parts of the film. But despite all the awesome fight scenes and overall excitement, the thing I think I enjoyed the most about this movie were the character-driven scenes, like all the bad guys caged up in Doctor Strange's little dungeon. The bad guys recognizing and knowing each other from their respective universes. Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Sandman filling everybody in on what happened to Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Connors and Electro knowing each other. And then, like, characters who had never met each other. Like, in the moment, like, in the condo, when they're working on the cures, and Sandman and Electro have that little heart-to-heart about how they got their powers, what happened to both of them. And then it's like this movie took shit I did as a kid with my Legos, because I have, and I still have to this day back home, I have the Legos of Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and a few other superhero characters, and I would have them all play together and meet each other. So this movie was such a treat for me, because it's like I was seeing toys and games I used to play as a kid come to life on the big screen, because characters who had never met each other were finally meeting each other face to face, having great, rich dialogue and conversations, and that is what was super exciting. That was probably my favorite thing about this whole movie, was just all of these characters, some of them meeting each other for the first time, some of them having long-awaited reunions after what has felt like so many years, and then just to top it all off, the excitement, the emotion, and the character-driven aspect of everything, no matter which part anybody played, it was just all so fantastic. One of the early reviews I read said this was the best Spider-Man movie. I think I'm going to have to agree with that, because it worked on so many levels. If I had one little complaint, and this will probably not last very long, considering the next film is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Surprise, not anyone's surprise, the mid-credit scene featured Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, and we didn't see him, but we could hear Venom talking as they were sitting in a bar trying to comprehend living in the MCU. But obviously, something happens where they probably either get sent back to their own universe, or maybe they end up somewhere else. But I was a little bummed about it, because I was like, oh shit, now he'll never meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Now they'll never meet or do battle or whatever. However, a piece of Venom seems to have left behind, possibly Carnage, but definitely a piece of Venom, because it was some of that black goo. Even if it's not Carnage, it's a piece of Venom. So it's possible that somebody else might get that piece of Venom, and they'll become the Venom in the MCU. Or hopefully Tom Hardy's Venom will somehow meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man someday in the future. And considering that the next film is called The Multiverse of Madness, it seems very likely and possible that through all the mayhem and craziness in that movie, well, that it will most likely feature, hopefully we will get to see someday Tom Hardy's Venom meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I really think that's what they're setting us up for. And even though this post-credit scene kind of seemingly took that possibility away, it's only temporary, I think. And I think we're probably going to be okay in the future regarding that future meeting. So Oh, other than that, though, I loved this movie and I cannot wait to see it many, many more times. So, what did you guys think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. I love that we got to see everything we were hoping to see. Garfield saving MJ, all three Spider-Men together, the hilarious meme recreation, and of course, just all these characters meeting and reuniting after all these years. It just worked on every level possible, and I absolutely loved it, as I hope you guys did too. So, what did you think of the film? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching, and please refrain from posting obvious spoilers in the comments. If you want to leave a comment, that's fine, but please be courteous of others who haven't seen the film yet. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your night. Spider-Man No Way Home is now playing in theaters everywhere. It'll be out for a very long time because it's probably going to make huge bank. So enjoy. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, may the force be with you.